Thanks for joining us for Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. Today we talk tourism. We are in the winter tourist season, and it is really setting to be a bumper one. We have with us the Minister of Tourism and Entertainment, the Honourable Wickham McNeely. He'll be talking to us about his portfolio. We thank you for your company on Issues and Answers. Minister, good to have you on set.
My pleasure being here.
Good. This season is going to be a good one.
All indicators are that we're going to have a good season.
Yes.
Forward bookings are up. The partners in the industry are very confident. We've seen some positive growth in the US and UK. Canada has been a little softer than usual, but of course the Canadian dollar is a little weak, and it has been a surprisingly warm winter so far, both the US and Canada. Nonetheless, we're very optimistic about it. We've gotten increased airlift. We have about 60,000 new additional seats coming on stream, of which 50,000 of that are out of the US market, which is our main market. So we're pleased with that. And so the winter is shaping up to be a good winter. We expect to get more arrivals than we did last year. Also, we have some new product that was not in the market last year. Places like Moon Palace were out, coming on stream. Next month we should see Melia. The Melia Braco will be opening first week of January. The Rio in Negril has undergone a total refurbishing. A lot of work has been done at beaches in Negril. So we have a lot of new product and refurbished product coming on stream, which will also help. So it's shaping up to be a good winter.
And we have had investments of what, to the tune of about what, 500 million US dollars.
Yeah, and a lot of that has been in refurbishing. And so we would all have seen the work that has been done in places like Sensatori Negril or Hyatt, which was formerly the Ritz-Carlton, or Royalton in Trelawney. So a lot of that, the first stage was refurbishing. But what we're seeing now is the next phase, which is new rooms coming on stream. And right now as we speak, there are over 2,500 new rooms that are either starting or under construction in the industry right now. And this is unprecedented. At no stage, even in the 2000s when we had the Spanish hotels being built, did we have this amount of new rooms.
This is unprecedented.
Unprecedented. So, you know, if you look at places like Bahia Principe, 450 rooms, which is almost up. You know, interestingly, the Pablo Pinero was here earlier this year. You know, he asked me to come and meet with him, and he said, Minister, look at the sun, look at the sea. My rates are up, the occupancies are up. I've told them 450 rooms, we build it by Christmas. I laughed. I said, that's very optimistic. I mean, every time I drive past, it's amazing. And they're almost ready. I understand they're going to open soon. You look at Royalton, another 200 rooms. Secrets is building a new hotel called Breathless. The Cameron is adding rooms. Rio is building a new hotel in Montego Bay, 450 rooms, plus a 50-room expansion of the Rio Palace. In Negril, you have both Sensatori building the new 150 all-suite in Negril, and the Grand Lido Royalton has started construction. I think it's about 600 rooms. So it's a huge expansion, and those rooms will come on stream, some of them next winter season, and certainly going into 2017. It's going to be a very positive year. You add to that all the other things that are on the horizon, Charisma, Ocean 10, China Harbor. the future, medium and long term for Jamaica's tourism is in a good place. So we're very pleased about that element.
And what has been driving this boom, Minister? What has the government been doing right? Why is Jamaica so attractive as a tourism location of investment?
There are a number of things. The first thing that I put on the table is the fact that in terms of the marketing, right now Jamaica is hot. There's tremendous demand for Jamaica. So the rooms we have are full. You know, you try and call, I mean, people are calling me every day, they want a room over Christmas, they want a room in January. Rooms are hard to get. Then when you do get them, they're very expensive because they're limited now. So it means that the yields are up. And once the yields are up, it's a good investment opportunity. So that's number one. Number two, we've just gone through some tax reform. We've moved from the Hotels Incentives Act to Omnibus, a Fiscal Incentives Act, which has changed the system. And one of the things it's done is made it a lot easier. You no longer apply to the minister who has to sign.
Discretionary power.
Yes, and the hotels incentives and he signs. Now you have certain specifications, certain things that you have to pass and get your license, etc. And once that happens, the incentive stripped in.
So that hasn't made the omnibus legislation, hasn't made things more difficult for the industry. Made it easier.
There are some limiting, it has its positives and negatives, depending on where you look at it from. But certainly that has been an element in what we see going forward. Thirdly, I think people look at the economy of Jamaica. They look at what has happened over the last 3 or 4 years, and they're seeing an economy where we've made some real changes.
The economic reform program.
Our fiscal, exactly. The you know, interest rates are down, inflation is down.
Let's take a break at this point, Minister. Minister of Tourism and Entertainment, Honorable Wickham McNeil, are talking to us about the significant expansion in the tourism industry, as well as this buoyant, as it is expected to be, winter tourist season. We take a break, but we'll be right back.
Jamaica, among the top 10 most improved economies in the world. That's right, our island's business environment has advanced to the extent that the World Bank has noticed. The multilateral agency has named Jamaica one of the most improved economies globally in which to do business in its newly released Doing Business Report 2016. This ranking is attributed to Jamaica's implementation of 4 major reforms over the past year. Investors have noticed too and are coming on board. So let's continue to work together to make Jamaica the place of choice to do business.
We're at the start of the winter tourist season, and the Minister of Tourism and Entertainment, the Honorable Wickham McNeil, is here with us to talk about what is happening in that area. And Minister, you were just talking about how the government's economic reform program has in fact been helping to fuel this boom in tourism investments.
So as I said, the indicators are right. So from an investment point of view, they're looking at a country where they feel the future is good. So you have the right indicators within the tourism industry. The demand is there. And so what is happening is that we have a lot of persons who are now coming and looking to invest in Jamaica. And one of the things that I have quite frankly grappled with, and just 2 weeks ago I spoke at an investment forum, one of the things that I feel strongly about is that we're at a point now where there's tremendous opportunity in tourism, whether it is in the accommodation sector, whether it's in the attraction sector, the indirect areas, whether it's in the linkages, producing for the sector, manufacturing, agriculture, tremendous opportunities. Just the other day there was an article in the paper about some Austrians from the Chamber of Commerce who came and were at Round Hill looking at investment in Jamaica, not direct, they were looking at the linkages. All of these opportunities are coming on stream and others are seeing them. And what I really want is for Jamaicans to take ownership.
Yes.
Now, we do have persons who have taken tremendous ownership.
Yes.
Sajikor Sandals, the Hendrickson family, the Issa family. You look at attractions, the Melvilles, you look at... So what... The start is there,
also,
but...
Minister, for smaller entrepreneurs,
Yes.
medium-sized entrepreneurs.
Well, and that's where you look for those opportunities. And the extent to which, because what we don't want is to look back when it really has gone through this boom and look back and say, boy, we should have been more a part of it.
Yes.
And really it's really putting the packaging together, knowing what the opportunities are. That's part of my job. That's why we've started the Linkages Hub. It's to see how we can get these opportunities to Jamaicans, because we want Jamaicans to take ownership of this sector. I think part of the problem is, quite frankly, over the last few years, the performance of tourism has been up and down. So there were times where people were looking at it as a risky business.
Yes.
I don't think it is so now. And it is really the focus, it's really how we put in place. So it's one of those things, you know. I look at tourism as a tool of social and economic development. I think that's how you have to look at it. You know, it's the easy way is whenever you're talking, you speak about your arrival figures are up and your airlift is good and investment is coming. Those are important indicators. But the extent to which it has a positive impact on the lives of Jamaicans, that's really going to tell the success of tourism. You know, it's interesting. I read Lee Kuan Yew's book some years ago, and he said that he parked on a hill and he was looking down at the school and seeing all these children coming out and saying to himself, where am I going to find jobs for these people? I think it's a good way to start looking at it. One of the things that I do in tourism is to say, how am I going to create jobs for Jamaicans? How am I going to create opportunities for Jamaicans? How am I going to create a better place for Jamaicans to live in through tourism?
Yes.
And so our focus in the ministry has somewhat shifted over the last 3 or 4 years from straight marketing and sales to how you're going to have a positive impact on the economy.
We want to talk about that, Minister, so I want to invite you back to talk about some of those issues. So the Minister will be back with us next week. We have been talking about tourism. Many interesting things are happening in the field. We're going to continue this discussion next week. Until then, Ian Bourne wishing you a very pleasant day.